everybody, what's up? This is Xbox Ultimate Podcast, and this is episode number 30. So, episode 30. Is that a milestone? I don't know. I don't care.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's a milestone, I guess. Episode 30. I want to welcome all of you in the chat to what's going to be an awesome show. It's been an interesting day today. It's been fun, sort of. Not really, but hey, it ends on a fun note tonight. We have an awesome panel here, our regular panel members, as well as one awesome guest right now, as well as another is on the way. So we're going to have a blast talking about a bunch of really fun things to have a great Friday night. And I want to start off this show by, first, just shout out to everybody who just wished me well on Twitter today. That was awesome. It means a lot to me that you were checking in on me and stuff. So I greatly appreciate that. To a couple people that felt like they needed to analyze the crash on Twitter and try and diagnose what happened. Hey, screw you guys. Anyway, moving on. I would like to introduce our first awesome guest here. His name is Crispy Bomb. You know him as the man with the sultry, harsh-ass voice. What's up, dude? How is it going? And welcome to the show.
World premiere.
Yeah. Nice.
Awesome to be here. Been looking forward to it, and many Fridays have been taken up, but I moved the schedule aside or convinced the girlfriend to let me come on and join you. So awesome to be here. And I was with Pong this morning, which is kind of odd. I mean,
what were y'all doing?
Yes,
did y'all wake up?
Yeah, what were y'all
next to
doing?
each other, or like what's?
Well, I told Crispy that he needed to change his clothes first. So,
breakfast with Boom. So that was fun.
Nice, guys. Yeah, unfortunately, I missed that episode today. But yeah, that's super awesome. You guys have a double header today, then.
Yeah. Well, this is a triple header for me. Think about it. Next last night, breakfast with Boom, and now this. So
yeah,
that's true.
Glad to see that Anthem topic, because I have not, with all the podcasts I do, I have not been able to talk about that.
Okay,
so,
nice, dude. Is this the reason people call you a podcast whore? The fact that you had 3 podcasts in less than 24 hours?
Might be true.
It might be true. Well,
I plead the 5th.
Also, I want to, first in my heart, there is my beautiful wife, Caitlin.
Favorite intro.
Hi, baby. How's it going?
It's going.
It's going.
That's really all I can say. Excited to have Crispy here. Missing 3-Bit and Lupa. And hello to everyone in the chat. Y'all are awesome as usual.
Yes, you are. Now, this is usually where I would introduce 3-Bit. He is a little under the weather right now, so we're wishing him well. Wasn't feeling well today. So, hey, man, if you're listening, what's up? We miss you, and hang in there, pal. You're gonna be fine. No, I don't know. I think he's doing okay. He just needed to take a little rest for a little sick 3-Bit. So. No, seriously though, dude. Hope you're doing okay, man. If you're listening, and then we also have my man Pong Soul here. I didn't know if he's going to show up. He sprang in like at like 7:59 and 59 milliseconds. And he's here to enjoy all these awesome topics. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, man? I know you just didn't have enough stress in your life today, so I thought I'd add a little bit more by showing up that late. Coming in hot. So 3-Bit, hey, by the way, buddy, if you're listening right now or later, this is what you get for drinking margaritas and eating frozen broccoli together. Okay, man? We told you. We told you.
Sound fun.
Okay?
He just he's probably drinking like lime margaritas, and he thinks the green color goes with broccoli. That's probably his idea. Like green and green, it makes sense.
Exactly. Unbelievable. Anyways, great to be here. Obviously, Friday night. Who doesn't love Friday nights? Week is over, except for those of you that have to work the weekend. And I do feel for you. I used to do that myself. But shout out to everybody else. Obviously, it's time for a good weekend. This is the way to start it. Chat. Love you all. Great to see you as always. Like Crispy said, I have had a few podcasts already this week myself. So just ready to continue to rock and roll here. We got some great topics to go through. And obviously having Crispy here is awesome because, things are going to get lively and maybe even rowdy. So you never know what's going to happen. Brother Mike, I see you out there. Just want to show you. Representing.
Nice.
Right?
Hey.
Next level gaming, brothers.
Nice.
Yeah,
So,
that's
anyway.
a suave looking shirt you got there.
I know, and I won it. It's
Yeah.
just for being a member of the family of NLG. So what?
Look at that.
Can't get much better.
See, that's you get free advertising by giving away that shirt. So very slick move there, Mike. I see what you did there. No, hey. That's awesome, man. I want one as well. I will eventually have one of every podcast out there known to man that I love. So, hey, let's get this show started and kicked off. And so, babe, what's the first topic? How do we always start the show?
The fun speculation of the week.
And
this week,
what is it?
Well, can I freaking talk?
No, yeah, you can.
Don't interrupt me.
Is it how your husband can't drive? Is that what the topic is?
Oh, that's not fun speculation. That's a fact.
You are kind of shitty, but anyway, this week is fun speculation of the week is Phil Spencer's shelves.
So, hey, we're just going to talk about his shelves. We're not going to talk about what's on the shelves. I think
Where
he got them.
The shelves? Maybe IKEA?
Yeah, I think maybe he got them from IKEA. Maybe he, I've seen like Walmart.com has some really interesting furniture choices and stuff now. So he may have ordered them from there. Where do you guys think he got his shelves? No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. So this is where we're going with this. Okay. Now, this is fun speculation as far as what we're going to be talking about here, because, hey, there could be nothing to any of this, first off. So let me make that perfectly clear. However, Xbox has been known quite consistently, actually, to be dropping hints in their like interviews and stuff. Phil did it before with the Series S. We had Todd Howard did it with the Indiana Jones stuff. Okay. Then we also had, the Xbox trailer, and you had the Get Out actor with the Xbox headset on his ears. Now, so you also have this interview here. Okay. And I don't know if Phil is just trolling us at this point or what, but there's just stuff all over the damn place. Okay. He's got a Switch there. He's got Watch Dogs crown skull thing there. He's got like a Hideo Kojima reference there. Lots of stuff. So we'll start with Crispy, man. Do you think there's anything to any of these hints? Do you think he's trolling us, or do you think there's actually something and we're supposed to guess which one is the real thing, or maybe it all is like? What is it?
Well, I mean, let's be serious. Phil actually pays attention to his social environment. We've seen him respond to Xbox gamers over time. It's few and far between, but he reads stuff. Yeah. So all of our speculation, see how I did that there?
Yeah, love
it. has played into him saying, "Hey, let me just troll them a little bit." But maybe one of them is actually real. Because you remember, the Series S was like tucked in the corner, and it was just like books and just nonchalant things. Now he's got this whole spiel going on, and it's like, people are pointing this out and this out and this out. And I'm like, I wonder if one's actually true, but he's just seeing all of this like rumors and stuff, and just like, let me just mess with them a little bit, and they'll have something to talk about like we are right now, right? So I think he's trolling a little bit, but one of them maybe has something to it, and unfortunately, unless you guess really good, you don't know which one.
If you were to make a guess, which one would you say is real? I would say the Watch Dogs thing has to do with Ubisoft, right? I would say that Kojima has to do with like some Kojima game coming. I would say that the Switch means, you know, more Xbox games going to Switch or something like that, or, you know, Game Pass. Who knows exactly what? And then like, man, there's like this little tidbits around. Which one would you think there's something to?
Just because of the company Microsoft is, I would say the Uplay coming into Game Pass.
Right.
That would be, you know, they're just a huge service-based company, and you know, Uplay really hasn't caught on quite as much as Ubisoft would like, and I think that would be, at least even if it's like a year or two, it's in there, because we don't really know how long EA plays in there either. They never said it's forever. You know what I mean? So
That's true.
it could be one of those. They, you know, I do believe they have like 2 different iterations of Uplay anyway, where you get more content, just like EA does. So, you know, if they want to put their basic, you know, membership and just say, okay, we're just throwing it into Game Pass, that gets eyes on, especially, I mean, they've come out with a lot of games as of recent, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they're kind of, you know, dying off in player base at this point. And even like, you know, you go and look at the uptick in Division 2 recently and stuff like that. They see that the Xbox, you know, fan base has, you know, some thought process about these games, saying, "Oh, you did an update. Oh, you did this," or, you know, like, "Oh, we'll go back into it for a little while." So they might. I think that would be the one that would be most logical. The Nintendo thing, I mean, unless Nintendo really is trying to make their, you know, their services better, because they, you know, they bring out great first party for what they are, but like for someone like me, not really my cup of tea. You know, so maybe they're trying to attract that gamer that, you know, would rather you know, a more of like shoot 'em ups and beat 'em ups and all that stuff that are a higher quality, at least visually, for somebody like me, and say, hey, you can get a Switch and you can go on Game Pass on here, because I don't feel like Nintendo really needs to care about Xbox as far as like what content they have compared to what they have. Because even if you go against like some of these games that are like Untitled Goose Game or Ori, like they're putting them on Switch anyway. You know what I mean? So I don't feel there's like this like same rivalry with Nintendo that PlayStation has with Xbox. So I feel that could happen. And then the Kojima thing, I mean, Kojima's actually had a good relationship with Xbox over the years. There's a little falling out, but I think that was before Phil was here. So, you know, you never know. I mean, I know the guy still wants to make games because he hasn't tried to make a movie yet. You know what I mean? So maybe he just said that, but you know, Xbox, you know, with the Game Pass money, could be like, hey, we'll give you a budget, make something great. You know, we don't want to see another Death Stranding. We want to see something that you really, you know, that is horror based, that's mind blowing, and they could do that too. So I mean, all 3 could be real, but I would go with the Ubisoft thing as my my ace card.
Okay, fair enough. All excellent points, Crispy. You always bring a great perspective, man, and I could buy into that. I could buy into that. Pong, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think there's anything to this? Is he messing with us? And am I crazy? And I'm just looking for things, or, you know, I personally, I honestly think there may be something just because of the history with Xbox recently. What do you think, dude?
First of all, can we just go ahead and recognize the genius that is Xbox for even making this a thing?
Yes.
To have podcasts actually considering, like, literally, and people on the internet literally digging through the photos, trying to decipher what it all could mean. I mean, it's genius. You know, just PTK Blam had posted a Twitter post about the headphones and how they had hid them in the advertisement, right? And how, you know, us gamers, I mean, there was a couple people I had seen right afterwards that were starting to look at them and had said, well, maybe these are new headphones, but the majority of people didn't. But, you know, the genius to put them in there and just people not notice, and then all of a sudden people realize, holy cow, we already saw these things, right? So, and then when PTK had posted that Twitter post, then people, we had made some comments, and all of a sudden Greenberg shows up and Ronald shows up, right? And they're like, yeah, there might be a few things in there, just stuff like that, right? And then somebody said to Greenberg, it's like you guys are doing this on purpose, and he kind of gave a couple emojis like, I don't know, genius, right? So do I think that this is something we probably should look for? Yeah, I think after this many circumstances where we've had this happen and it has legit been something, yeah, I think there probably is a little game of cat and mouse going on right now with the community. Do I think that it sets it up perfectly for Phil to completely troll us on any given occasion and just throw some random stuff in the background just to make people talk? Absolutely. Of course I do. The things that were out front that people pointed out were so obvious. Every other time it hasn't been as obvious, right? It's been kind of out of the way. So I almost makes me think that there's something else in there that people are just picking up on because
Right.
either A, it's too small, or he's got it somewhere where we're just seeing like a corner of it or something crazy. And then he knew everyone was going to focus, right? There's no way you could miss that switch, right? There is no way. There's no way you could miss the Kojima statue right next to the Xbox lamp, right? That stuff is just out in the open. And I don't think that's the way Phil rolls if he's going to do something like this. I think it's a little bit more subtle. Even like Todd Howard with the Indiana Jones stuff, it was off to the side in the background, and it was just, I when I was watching the interview, I noticed it. But, again, a lot of people are Indiana Jones fans. He's a creator.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to have, movie props hanging around. I mean, it's just like, yeah, whatever. But with Phil, it's been a little bit more subtle. So I don't think any of them necessarily mean anything. Could it be that Phil's flat out just telling us things that are coming up? Sure, because the debate will rage on and nobody will know for sure until it happens. But I don't think he's going to give up the GOAT that easy. Because if any of those obvious pieces that everybody's kind of talking about come to fruition, then it's too odd. Then everybody's going to be like, oh man, exactly. He was already telling, I knew it. We talked about this, that doesn't make it a game of cat and mouse really. So I think it might be something more subtle that everybody's kind of missing, or maybe he's just straight up trolling this time to keep, obviously you don't want to do it every single time. Otherwise, what fun is that? So I think maybe this time he's probably not. Out of the ones that are the obvious, I mean, the Kojima thing is certainly possible, that Kojima's next game, because Death Stranding didn't do as well as Sony had hoped. It's certainly possible the next game, if it's not Silent Hill or something directly funded by Sony, goes multi-plat. So that's certainly possible. Nintendo, he's got a great relationship with Nintendo. Microsoft and Nintendo have been working together now for quite a bit, and those rumors have persisted out there that if there is another platform that Phil's going to get Game Pass on, it may be the Switch, but again, that's not going to be something that happens, relatively shortly. We'll probably forget about this video, even if it does happen, because it'll probably be a couple years from now. But I think the Kojima one is probably your most likely. I think Phil has a great respect for Kojima. I think he knows the name recognition that Kojima brings. Whether or not his games do well, when Kojima says he's going to come out with a new game, the world goes ballistic, right? He's one of those devs that is a rock star, and he draws that attention to whatever platforms his game is going to go to. So to cut a deal with Kojima and make something for the series consoles down the road, that'd be a huge get. So that would probably be my pick.
Again, excellent points. I can't argue with anything you said. So maybe everything is true. Maybe both of you are right. I don't know. I can't argue with either of you. I don't know what to say. I mean, look, so I think you make a really good point with the fact that it's probably not necessarily one of the obvious things that he's pointing to. And maybe there is something to that, but maybe we won't get any kind of announcements for any of these for like a really long time. And that's why it's making it more obvious, right? But he could be, it's like it's like a magic trick. It's he's leading our eyes one direction, and then the surprise is somewhere else. He's got.
Well, it's been like proven and that he's done this, right?
Yes.
So I think I'm looking at in this particular picture that I had put on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
He's sitting in a way to let us all see the shelves.
That's true.
Perfectly.
That's
Correct.
a good point.
Yes.
So this is staged. This is set up.
I mean, he wants us to look at those shelves and try and figure out what's going on.
The question is he trolling us? Because he knows that we're all looking at it and trying to find stuff because he's done it before. And everybody's made a thing of it, talking about, hey, what is he going to have anything in the background? What's the next interview going to have in the background? So then he conveniently steps aside to have this whole wall of shelves just full of different stuff that we could all like have these crazy talks on and speculations about. Now, but still, I think they're doing it. Like you can go back to for a while now and trailers and stuff and find little hidden clues to things that they've done. They've been doing this for a while with trailers, and it has stepped into these interviews, especially with them doing more stuff like this, these more on camera stuff all the time. And I think he likes it because it's fun, right? I think he likes it because it is having a good time with the community and messing with us a little bit. So, but man, there's something to something here, and I just don't know which one it is. I'm gonna say I agree with Crispy on this, that with the Watch Dogs thing. I think it's the least like far-fetched thing to be there, and it could be something as simple as Watch Dogs Legion going into Game Pass individually, right? And it could be the start of some kind of Game Pass relationship with Ubisoft where the titles are going in there after a few months, right? But maybe Uplay, regular Uplay, maybe not Uplay Plus, right? Or Ubisoft Plus, whatever it's called, right? That could be something to that. Watch Dogs just had did they just launch the multiplayer update? It's launching soon. I think it did just have the multiplayer update. So
beginning of March.
Okay, so it's coming very soon.
Yeah, March it's coming.
What if they coincided, that with a launch on Game Pass, to drive traffic for the multiplayer mode on Watch Dogs, like stuff like that could kind of make sense. To take it as far as, hey, Ubisoft Plus is going to drop because there's a skull on a shelf. I don't know necessarily about that, but yeah, I could get behind this, guys. With the Uplay thing. The other stuff is just like, yeah, I think Kojima is just messing with fanboys. That's like a fanboy troll right there. Putting something Kojima on there because he knows it's going to get some like chatter regarding that. And the Switch, I think it's just maybe something that he wants. He wants that to happen. That could be a possibility too. So, anybody else any more thoughts on that before we move on? No? Okay.
No.
Great. All right. So, babe, what do we have next on the agenda?
Next is Anthem 2 and BioWare. And I'm not going to say the dough that you made me put.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's Anthem 2.0.
Is that what you tried to do?
Yeah, that's what I tried to do.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a Homer dough.
Yeah.
Hey, Pong, we have some people in the chat that are trying to decipher your background.
I know. I saw that.
What are you? Do you
Mine's
have a
too
secret?
easy. Mine's too easy.
Yours is
The
too easy.
secret is that he's a nerd.
Correct. Thank you. And who didn't know that already, Caitlin?
Nice. That's no secret.
No.
So, Anthem 2.0. Again, I think we'll start with Crispy on this topic because he told me, he's been chomping at the bit to start talking about this. So basically, if you've been locked in a closet, EA has decided to axe the update, the massive update that they've been working on for Anthem. The one that was supposed to reinvigorate the game and make it live up to its original promise. The one that they stopped doling out regular content for to be able to create. So this also killed the game in another way, other than not coming out with the update. It also kind of preemptively killed it, right? So what are your thoughts on this, Crispy? I know you have some thoughts.
Oh, it's kind of unfortunate. I think it was Anthem Next, that's what they were calling it, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I just saw so much promise in this game. I really did. And, with these next gen consoles, I feel like it could get even better. And the only thing that good that could possibly come from this is down the road they make an actual Anthem 2 and just, ground up, almost like because being a big Division fan, I watched that game go from shit to great. That the first one. It was just it was crap at first, but it was still addictive. And then it just by the end of that life cycle of that game was really, really good. There was tons of content. It gave you a reason to go in there every day. And I feel like Anthem could have became that. The problem is I don't feel BioWare's just the right person, the right company for the make an Anthem. I just really don't. I feel like, they need to stick with what they're good at. You know what I mean? And I don't know, like Anthem just seems so out there, even for the last gen, that when you went and played the demo or you played the game at periods of time, it got better over time, but the load times were incredible. Like it made like fast traveling across the map in Division like look quick, which was just crazy. And a lot of people wanted kind of like to feel like you're in the Division in Anthem. You know what I mean? Like just have the same elements that Anthem is or something like that, and just be able to go anywhere and do anything. And that's not really what we got. But at the same time, I still see a lot of people that still enjoy the game right now. So there's a player base there, and there's still people like me that are like, all you need to do is, bring something back. You could even, say, you know what, we got this update out there. Let's throw it in the Game Pass or something. That's going to get people to play it no matter what and give it another shot. And you even seen that with Division 2 right now. All of a sudden, people are like, oh, I haven't, Warlords went to $9 or something. So everybody's like, oh, let me try this. Now everybody's like, wow, this is a great DLC. You know what I mean? And it brings you a whole other part of the world, and it kind of gives you the storyline that you kind of love from Division 1 and puts it in Division 2. Because I feel like that's the only thing that Division 2 lacked was the story that I felt in Division 1. And, Anthem had a good, decent story, but a lot of things hampered it. And, even the mechanics and everything of the flying and everything else, from what everybody tells me, and I played some of it, it felt really good. And I didn't even play it when it was, updated at all. So I feel like for a title like this to just get thrown to the curb, I mean, this is typical EA. This is what they do. They have something that they could really build upon. And instead of, doing a Ubisoft route and saying Ubisoft does not, unless it's done and over with, they do not give up on their games right away. They just don't. They will grind it out. They will put update upon update. They'll have community streams. They will try to keep the community engaged. I just feel like EA needs to learn something from that, because if you're going to make a service-based game, you got to treat it like a service, and you got to treat your fan base right. And I feel like still to this day, I talk to plenty of people that still go into that game from time to time because they love the gameplay of it. And I feel that was a huge part of it. And just let it go like that. I feel it's blasphemy. You know what I mean? Like you just don't do that. Don't announce that you're gonna do a huge full-on update and then just be like, oh, we're not doing it anymore. Like, not doing it. We get that it could be delayed, it could take longer because of COVID, but you're just gonna be like, oh, we're done. That's just EA. That's why people don't like that company. Like they're probably like BioWare, you're going on the Dragon Age. That's it. Done. We're not funding it anymore. And all these dudes that have been working on it for months upon months are like, what? These devs are like, I would put my heart and soul into this game and try to make it what it should have been. It's sad. It really is.
Yeah, man. 100% agree. It's like, hey, we have this huge thing we want to do, and we're gonna fund it, and we're gonna promote the hell out of it. It's gonna be our biggest thing we talk about for years. Then we're going to launch it before it's ready, and then not support it after it comes out. And then when we get harsh feedback, we're going to make sure we actually kind of stop all the regular content we had planned to make sure we put an emphasis on bringing even bigger stuff. But then we're only going to put a small team on it. And then when it fails, we're going to cancel it. It's like, hey, if you actually think about a business plan, that's not very smart. So it's just with the bones and the structure that this game has, with the talent that had crafted a lot of that feels really good. That kind of stuff is not easy to create. To just give up on it it's not as much that I am so butthurt about Anthem. It's about worrying about the other franchises that EA has and what they're going to do in the future, because there's just making big mistakes. That's a couple big mistakes in a row with BioWare, right? Upon what are your thoughts, dude?
They were set up to fail from the beginning. Period. End of story. To come out and claim that you're going to make the Destiny killer, you've already set unbelievable expectations when it comes to it. And if you, as a company, meaning EA, are not going to back that up with the appropriate resources, then you have sent that team and that game to go out there and die. Okay, period. I will disagree a little bit with Crispy on whether or not this was the right game for BioWare. From what I played and from the bones of that game that were there, they were definitely the right team. I think the mechanics of the game were something special. The feel of, the way you moved from the flying to even the ground movement, I absolutely adored. I thought it was just out of this world. And I don't think they were just given the time to develop this. Okay, so we know we know a little bit about the history. Again, I wish, someday I hope I'm old enough where I see all these devs from these eras come out and finally write books on all these crazy stories, because there's got to be stories behind this stuff. There's got to be crazy meetings that went down, because they started development. It was like 7 years in development, but it was only 18 months in full production. You're expecting to put out a Destiny killer games of service game by a small team, relatively speaking, when you look at other games of service like Destiny, and you're expecting them to have full production for 18 months and come out with a complete game that's going to compete on that kind of level. You're out of your mind, EA. That, again, whatever this was or whatever they thought it was going to be, maybe EA got bored with it and decided that it wasn't worth it anymore. Maybe, who knows? Maybe somebody made somebody at the top mad and there was, internal conflict there. Who knows? But it's still strange to me that you're going to come out and try to make a Destiny killer with that small of a team, that limited amount of time, and expect it to work. That's not how this happens. Again, Destiny laid out the roadmap. Games of service is a huge risk, but everybody's willing to take it, because if you hit big, you're going to make a ton of money, right? That's why they're willing to risk it. But at the same time, when you've got a roadmap, and Destiny did all the mistakes for you up front, right?
Yeah.
We know what happened to Destiny 1. We know how that stumbled out of the gates. It was nothing that they had promised. compared to where it is now with Destiny 2.
Yeah,
and
and
still obviously
Pong, if you remember, man, I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you remember, like when they announced Anthem, the faults that Destiny had was the selling point that they led with Anthem, focusing on story, and people were excited. BioWare was the masters of RPG story, right?
Yep.
So,
And some of that was there, and you could see it. That's what I'm saying. The bones were there. If you looked at it, it was incomplete. It was pieced together, held together by duct tape. There was, the content was lacking. But if you saw the lore, if you actually, again, and I'm not always the guy who goes and reads all the lore in games. Sometimes it can be too much. But again, BioWare is special to me as well. And I know they are not the BioWare of old. And I think we all need to get over that and just realize it's just not the same team anymore in any way, shape, or form.
Can't get over it, man.
It's just a name now, right? And yes, there's extremely talented people there, but that old prime BioWare is done, right? But again, the basis of this game, when you went and actually looked at it, they had started some real deep world building. And what we got shown what was only glimpses of what they were planning, and you could see pieces. There was it felt like times going through and talking to people that there was all of this side story stuff that was happening or that had happened that they wanted to explore. But it was like walking to, it was like walking through a maze and just winding up at a dead end every time you talk to somebody, right? So it was just like, oh, so that's it. There's nothing. But I could see what they were trying to do there, right? I feel awful for the team. They did their best with what they were given. EA, again, well known for this. I hope that, like you stated, that the mistakes that we've seen from BioWare, the games that have come out that haven't done well, I hope they fix that with obviously the new Dragon Age, and I hope they can do it with the new Mass Effect that they're planning on doing, because I have a feeling that if they don't succeed with these, then BioWare is going to be another one of those companies in the graveyard that EA has out back, and we're going to see a new headstone out there, and it's going to read BioWare, and we're just going to see we're just going to see them dissolve BioWare completely and move on. And I don't want to see that happen, even though it's not the original team, even though it's not the original, creators that were there. I still want that name to live on. The name still means something. And I'd like to see them come back, and hopefully they can resurrect it. Hopefully adding all these people back into the Dragon Age development really gives it the boost, and they put together something really special. Now, we just heard that supposedly, and I don't know how this makes sense. I'm still kind of twirling around in my head that the success of Star Wars has changed EA's mind, and they're now going to make Dragon Age a single player only game. Like, I don't know how that worked or why they decided that was the shift they needed to do, but I'm happy for it. If they can just focus on a true single player game and just have that 100% path that they know that they just have to deal with a single person playing this story, maybe that will obviously help out a little bit, and maybe they put out a game that lives up to the Dragon Age legacy, which is what everybody wants. So I hope so.
Yeah, man. Hey, now joining the show right now is an awesome guy. Did your daughter fall asleep okay?
Yeah, I found Isis though. She lives in my guest bedroom. Confirmed terrorist. No, she finally fell asleep, but I totally jinxed myself earlier tonight when I was like, I think it's gonna be great. She's gonna go to bed early tonight.
Yeah. Hey, no worries, man. I'm glad you're able to make it, dude. So everybody, I would like to welcome our second guest to the show. You know him from Twitch, and I was lucky enough to meet this guy on the Shop podcast as a guest, maybe a couple months ago. And I've started playing Halo with him a lot, and checking out his Twitch streams. A super awesome, funny guy, and super nice guy as well. Everybody, please welcome Bob, aka GamePassDad. What's up, dude?
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me on, dude. Sorry again about being late, but thank you so much for being so understanding.
Hey, when I invited you, you came with a warning where you said, "Hey, man, if you have me on the show, you might not be there right at the start. So hey, no worries, dude.
Yeah.
Completely fine. What the hell was
feel
that
like-
sound?
That might have been me.
No, I think so. Is that a Twitch thing? Is that a Twitch thing? I think it's me. I don't know. I gotta disable the Twitch sounds, I think. But hey, hi everybody on Twitch. You might be here because of Bob. How's it going?
But yeah, it's always the fun part of trying to be a content creator slash any sort of artist or person on a schedule when you have a small child at home and a family. So it's definitely nice when you have people there to still show up when you do, or other creators that are understanding of it. So I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, no worries, man. So what we were just talking about was Anthem 2.0 and how they killed off Anthem now kind of officially with no more big update coming. They weren't happy with the progress, and I don't know if you had a chance to check in and see about that news, and I was just kind of curious what your thoughts were, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I feel like where they went wrong with Anthem right away was just the fact that the whole time they're just so focused on being a Destiny killer. Like, I think every time we've seen any game in the past be like, oh, this is going to be a Halo killer, this is a X and X killer. It's just like most of those games end up sucking so hard, and EA spent so much money purchasing this studio that is so world renowned for creating amazing immersive single player experiences and giant worlds, with like Mass Effect and KOTOR, like Baldur's Gate, I think it was before that. And then they're just like, all right, we're gonna take that, we're gonna throw a bunch of money at you, we're also gonna put a bunch of pressure on you, and we're gonna completely change the formula. Make good games. I don't think that's a good way to get a positive response from the previous fans.
Yeah,
So
dude.
it's not surprising that Anthem didn't live up to expectations underneath like basically the schedule they put it on and all the things that went through. Like, finally, it's apparently a decent game. I ended up skipping it because I didn't care for the demo. It was like unplayable when I played it, and now that it's already a little bit too little, too late, it's not surprising that they're. I'm glad they're skipping that project and trying to focus. Is it Dragon Age that they're focusing on now?
Yeah, Dragon Age, and I guess they're about to ship. I get fairly soon or is it this year at some point? I forgot exactly when. The Mass Effect Legendary Collection, which is like the 3 original Mass Effect games, and then they're also supposed to be maybe in pre-production on the next actual Mass Effect game as well. So, but Dragon Age is the big one that they're working on right now. The next big daddy that they got to get out. So, if they fail on that, it's going to be some bad news for BioWare, I think.
Well, I mean, EA is just totally known for taking these successful studios and nurturing them and building them up bigger than when they found them, right? So it's just I guess we'll see what happens when they finally I would love for them just to get back to letting BioWare do what they became famous for doing, and creating just amazing experiences for gamers.
Yeah, man. I have, with maybe Vince Zampella being, having a bigger role at EA, will start to eventually rub off on some of the other executives and stuff there. That's
Can Vince just own EA? Is that possible? Can we just
that would
make
be
that
better.
happen?
That would be better, because that guy is gold, man.
That guy is. He knows what he's doing.
And you were worried. I think it was when him and I think it's Jason West. Is that the name? When they left Infinity Ward and they brought a bunch of guys, and then they formed Respawn. And then the first game they made was Titanfall, and I was like, holy crap, this is actually really good for their first game, Then they made Titanfall 2 and Apex Legends and then Jedi Fallen Order. I mean, it's just like they can't do no wrong. And Jason West left the studio, and everybody's like, hey, this is bad. This is bad news for Respawn and stuff, But he just kept that train rolling, and that he's, for those of you don't know, I mean, he's one of the guys one of the original creators of Medal of Honor when it was the premium war shooter back in the day, and then they moved on from that to create Call of Duty, which became the biggest first person shooter multiplayer success maybe ever, right? And then when they left Activision, they go and they form Respawn and then make all these games. So, yeah, that guy's freaking insane, you know. So hopefully his influence at EA can send ripple effects throughout them. That's just what I hope. So
yeah, I feel like they got to do something different though, because last gen I feel like they just completely. I mean I feel like there's a couple wins. Like I mean, they completely like pigeonholed Titanfall 2 just to like take a complete L with how they released it between like
right at the same like a week after Battlefield 2 or something. Yeah. It was like crazy.
They cannibalized their own market completely, and then just literally the microtransactions with Battlefront 2, like how crazy loot boxes were getting in the middle of last gen. Like really, if you look at it just in general as a console gamer, like those third-party games where like in the 360 era, like when they first started like just printing games like every single year, like Activision, EA, like just every single year they're shipping a product because they're turning it into a return for investors. It's just like I kind of feel like just in some ways like the products we were getting from those companies, like it just sucked to be a fan of those companies for a while just because they were doing so many things to just maximize profit.
Yeah, dude. 100%, man. We're just, I'm hoping for the best for the future of BioWare after this. And it just, if they nail Dragon Age, right, then all's well, right? In my eyes. And then it's like, okay, return to form. That's another original creation from that team. So we'll see where it goes. Now I wanted to surprise Kate with this week's Kill It.
Oh gosh. Me?
So I forgot to do this last week. So hey guys, we're gonna have to kill a franchise here. This game can no longer exist if you choose it. Okay, it's erased from history. It could affect her childhood. Maybe it affects her life. This game no longer existing and how much of an effect it had on her. Something that you love is gonna have to die here, babe. So, with that being said, we're gonna have to make a tough decision, guys. Are we gonna kill Halo? Oh, I cringed having to put that on this list.
House Flipper. It's gone.
House Flipper.
Is that really the next one?
The Sims or Tetris. So these are 4 of your favorite games, babe. And we're going to go around and we have to pick one that will no longer exist. So don't be mad at me after the show for whatever I pick, okay? We'll start with Pong. What's going to go? House Flipper, The Sims, Halo, or Tetris?
I already said it.
House Flipper, it's easy for you.
God,
Yeah.
it has
Have you played it though?
What?
Have you played it?
No, it would have no impact on my life because I have no interest. It's the same as Zelda. It just wouldn't do anything, so it's easy. It's gone.
That's so mean.
Oh, Fancy's back. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Fancy. Welcome back. Oh, there's Bob. Hey, Bob. What's up, dude?
I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love a green screen sheet. That's amazing.
Pay no attention to the man in front of the curtain.
Hey, Bob has a this isn't Twitch, so you don't get to do your like fun OBS stuff, right?
Oh, I mean, I got tricks, dog.
You got tricks?
Yeah, I got tricks. Hold on.
Can you make your voice changer work on the show? Is that possible?
I can. It was like scuffing up my stuff, but yeah, I can make it work. I'll just do it randomly. We'll add some fun house stuff. To
Nice, dude.
I gotta turn my camera off though to turn on my tricks.
So House Flipper for Pong. We'll go to Crispy next, dude. Crispy, dude. House Flipper, The Sims, Halo, or Tetris? I know it's gonna be a tough decision.
You're such an asshole.
I haven't played House Flipper, so I'll give her the benefit of the doubt for that one. The Sims. You got to say The Sims.
Oh, dagger.
Oh,
yeah,
The Sims.
The Sims. I have played The Sims, and You literally, after Sims 4, you can't do anything else to the game to make it except like make it look like real life, and they're not going to do that anytime soon. So
Yeah.
just kill it. It's done. I mean, maybe come out, 10 years from now when you can make it look like real life. That's all you can do.
Ray
Or you
tracing.
can download mods. That's what I do.
The Sims 4K 60 frames per second with ray tracing. That's what it's going to be, guys. And it's going to be the comparison game for Digital Foundry.
Oh my god!
You better get that to at least 120. Come on now. Come on.
Yeah, okay. 240 frames per second. All right, so go into Bob here. What, dude? House Flipper, Tetris, Halo, or what was the other game we had on here? The Sims. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. What's it gonna be, dude? It's got to go. You're gonna ruin her life with the choice.
I don't. Hold on. Let me see if you can hear this. Oh god, voice mod's being weird. How's it sound now? Does it sound weird now?
No,
You
it sounds like you. Oh wait, hold on. What was that?
Oh. Is that what we're looking for?
Yeah, House Flipper. Yeah, there we go, dude.
I can't even hear. I need to change my settings. Voice
That's
mod had a
awesome.
bunch of updates, but I was trying to make it so I could do all the crazy stuff.
You sound like
but
Guy
yeah, I don't-
Diamond
what is House
from the
Flipper?
Trolls.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's the Guy Diamond filter for sure.
So House Flipper is
Yeah.
this game. Do you want to explain it, babe? Because you love it so much.
Basically, you buy houses and you fix them up. You can decorate them. You can tear walls down. You can build walls. You can paint. You can just do whatever you want, and then you sell them for money.
Okay, it sounds
What
like a
was-
nightmare,
what
so
was-
I guess I'm gonna go with that.
It's
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so
Crispy's
fun.
changing his
What are we
mind.
getting a third job?
It's so relaxing.
I'm sold. House Flipper is dead to me.
There you go. Hey, it was easy. No, babe. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. You have to pick one. Are you gonna kill The Sims, House Flipper, Tetris, or Halo?
I'm gonna kill House Flipper.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh
Shock.
dang.
Look at that.
Dang.
What do you guys think of that? Okay,
You
so
just got to ask me if I've ever played it, and then you go ahead and kill it yourself. Really?
I still think it's
Really?
great. It's amazing. I freaking love it, and like I don't want to have to kill one of them, but if I had to, it would be that. And the reason why is I feel like it has a lot of similarities with The Sims as far as like the building and decorating of the houses and stuff. And I feel like I could get that experience with The Sims plus more. So that's why I would kill House Flipper. And I just have a lot of good memories with The Sims. And Tetris is timeless to me. It's more to me. Tetris is even more relaxing than House Flipper. And then Halo. I mean, I just have so much fucking fun with Halo. I could never, ever
Yeah.
get rid of that.
Yeah, you better not have picked Halo.
Oh
That's what I
gosh, no,
That's what I
never.
was thinking though, is when you described House Flipper, I was like, isn't that just The Sims with more steps?
It feels
There's a
like
lot of
work.
similarities, but there's no people, there's no characters. It's literally just fixing up houses and decorating, which I mean, that's right up my
Yeah,
alley.
you actually
so.
have to do the work. Like when you paint a wall, you're like, it's you actually painting the wall.
You have to clean the windows. You have, I mean,
Yeah.
you
It's
even
like-
have to install like AC units and stuff.
You're not
Yeah.
making this game any more
I mean, who
appealing.
wouldn't want to spend their time
You're really
doing
not.
that? Am I selling it, guys?
Hey, you love this game. You can actually see her play, and she makes some pretty dang cool looking houses on there.
I do. I mean,
So she's started streaming on Twitch recently, occasionally, and if you want to check out some fire House Flipper gameplay from one of the top House Flipper creators out there, check out I'm So Fancy on Twitch. Now,
you know what? It's like no different than like those like farming and truck like simulator things.
Yeah.
which I tried to play those too, and I actually found them pretty difficult.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are.
So
What was it, Mud Runner that we played that we got stuck? I
yeah,
can't
and
remember.
I tried to do the farming simulator, and I couldn't figure that shit out for the life of me.
Doesn't Lady AF like those games? No, she likes the like.
No, she
Is it that?
hasn't.
She likes like the Stardew Valley and that kind of stuff.
Yes, I don't think she's played House Flipper yet, though.
Cool. So I think Bob's on an acid trip over there.
I think I'm about to be on one too, watching it.
Realm. Oh god. Okay.
So
Too crazy.
I
Came
have
on
to
the
pick
show just to
one.
test out new backgrounds.
Yeah, it's like, hey, let me experiment on this. That's cool.
The Twitch fam was telling me that I needed to get my ass on camera, and then you guys were saying you wanted to see some cool stuff. So
Heck yeah, dude! And that
I
was
trying to show you.
Was that a tribute to Santa Sleighs over there a little while ago?
Yeah, it was something that him and I were working on for some of his new scenes.
Right on.
I've been kind of testing out like how to use videos and stuff with like the live production and things like that too. So like this is just NVIDIA broadcast with like the green screen. Like I don't even need the green screen behind me for it to be able to do this stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's with
pretty
NVIDIA.
interesting. Yeah, just
their
for the
software.
broadcast, but
Right
it
on.
can mess with the audio though. So sorry for being distracting.
Oh
I'll
no,
make it
you're
dead.
good, dude. It's fun. I like this.
Well,
Fun
give
on
the people
cam
something
with
to look
Bob.
at.
So I have to pick something here, and I have to be careful with my words because I might.
I already
pay
know
for it
you're gonna
later.
fucking pick The Sims.
Hey, but you're right. I am picking The Sims, but
Oh,
there's a reason why, and it has
I
nothing.
know why.
Why?
Because when we first discovered House Flipper, you would fucking sit there and do a whole fucking house for like 2 hours. Yeah, I'm
did.
calling you out.
Hey,
you acted like
House Flipper, you can get sucked into that game, guys.
It's very, very relaxing.
Yeah.
Pong? No.
we gotta get an extra $5,000 out of this resale value, or else we're upside down on the
That's
mortgage.
exactly how it goes, man. You know the game.
Gives you real life anxiety.
You're already an expert. You
And-
got to have ROI on everything in there.
We are about to get some DLC finally on consoles for House Flipper also,
Yeah.
which will be Garden Flipper. We
Oh
can
wow!
garden, guys. Plant
Wow.
flowers and shit.
Is it paid DLC? Do you have to pay for this?
I don't know, but if you do, like take my money. Take
Awesome.
Mav's money.
Take my.
Yeah, I need more real life
Big
problems
Babs
in
money.
my
I got a deductible to pay for.
in my video games.
Hey, so Tetris, not Tetris. I'm not killing Tetris. The Sims.
Oh.
But not because I want to take anything away from you, but because I am punishing EA for ruining BioWare right now, and it's my one way of getting back at them. Hey, The Sims, I'm taking it away from you, EA. It's dead. Okay.
Just to take it away from EA.
Yeah, just to punish them for the whole Anthem fiasco and stuff. And Ultimate Team. This is another punishment. It's a punishment for your prices for Ultimate Team as well. I'm taking The Sims from you. There you go. Hey, we have to move on from this topic, babe. So what's next on the list?
Next on the list is Xbox and Bethesda's March event.
Yes. Okay. So Xbox is being rumored to be having some kind of video or event or something in March to celebrate the acquisition of Bethesda and ZeniMax. You know, the whole shebang where maybe they're going to announce new games, maybe they're going to reveal gameplay, maybe they're going to announce a release date for Starfield and talk about exclusivity. Who knows what all they're going to have on there, but it is a big potential because we're actually seeing this rumor from multiple sources now, all revolving around different dates and stuff. So I think there's actually something to this. I don't know exactly what the event itself will be, whether it'll just be like an inside Xbox style thing, or whether it'll be like a little stage presentation, or just be like an interview like they did last time to announce the acquisition, right? Like we don't know what it is. So, I want to go around and say, do you think something's going to happen with this? And also, what would you like to see at something like this? So we'll start with Crispy on this one.
Oh, I mean, this is a big deal. And for me personally, I think best thing to do is really kind of give us a little glimpse into the history of Bethesda in a form of games. Just for a period of time. If you're really going to do this about this acquisition, let's show some of these younger people what this company has done. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
Bethesda itself has really been a pillar in gaming forever. And yes, they've faltered, especially recently, but they definitely have the clout to come out with some amazing games. I mean, I can't even remember how many hours because they never tracked it back then playing Fallout 3. I mean, it was crazy. Like, because you could play it, you could have, if you had the disc, you could still play offline, which people aren't used to anymore. But these were the fun times of just that was like just a never-ending single-player game. Felt like so. I feel like if you're gonna make it about just them, go through a little bit of history. I would expect it to be more like an inside Xbox, but maybe at the end or somewhere in there, drop a couple new IPs.
I'll be right back
just to get people excited. So, I feel like Starfield has to be getting close. You know what I mean? That's something that's really, a game people are really looking towards to say, what is this really? Because you've seen games like No Man's Sky and stuff like that. What are they trying to accomplish with Starfield? We haven't seen enough of it. You've seen little tidbits that have come out, over time, and we don't even know if they're actually true, really. So, I want to see gameplay of that. I think that would be amazing. Even if they just did that, that would be a huge step in the right direction to show us, what Bethesda should be under Microsoft.
Yeah, dude. Great points on there. I agree, man. I would love to see some of the old stuff, like you said, kind of like a celebration of like the history, go into all the Elder Scrolls games and kind of like the maybe celebrate like, hey, Xbox and their history together, right? In a way, because Morrowind and Oblivion, and then all of that stuff, Upon, what do you want to see from this if it's true, and do you think it is true?
Okay. Time to play Armchair CEO, one of my favorite games, just like being the GM of your favorite sports team. Since you asked,
Armchair quarterback.
Correct. Since you asked the question as to what I want, that's the way I'll approach this. Now, I'll just say this up front, I've tempered my expectations from what I want, because generally speaking, what I want doesn't happen the way that I think it should. So I'm going into this with lowered expectations, but we'll see what comes out of it. But from the standpoint of what I believe they should do, right? They need to absolutely put ZeniMax, Bethesda, and all the other studios front and center. They need to get people used to identifying them with Microsoft. Right? For all of us in this community, for all of us that follow all the video game news, we already know what's going on. The people who are going to be buying Starfield, people who are going to be buying, whatever, the new Elder Scrolls, they have to get used to the idea that this is now Microsoft. Okay. I'm not saying they're going to take away the name, because I think they will hold on to the names and that they will keep it because it has so much power as far as, Bethesda being in ZeniMax. I think that will remain, but it needs to be stamped with Microsoft. So I think they need to make a very large production out of this, as big as they possibly can with, obviously the constraints that are involved these days, right? I think you are definitely going to see an interview. I definitely think you're going to see maybe a one-on-one with Phil and Todd, being that they're such close friends outside of the industry. I can see them sitting down and having a nice chat about the history between the two companies, and how this relationship formed and why it's good for everybody involved. I think they need to introduce each one of the teams over there, Arcane, Machine Games, etc. Tango. I think they need to introduce those people and have them give little synopsis of their history and why they feel this is going to be so good for them being underneath the Microsoft umbrella and part of the family. As far as Xbox goes and what this means to them. I think that Todd and Phil and everybody needs to answer all of the exclusivity questions that are out there, because the minute that they go ahead and announce this, the interviews are going to start up. People are going to ask that as their first question or second question max, right? After they ask how they're feeling about it, they're going to go right into, so about Starfield, about Elder Scrolls 6, about Wolfenstein 3. Are these exclusive to Xbox, to the ecosystem, right? You know it's coming. They need to cut those off at the knees. They need to establish a new narrative, especially within the media, the larger media. Again, we all in this community know a lot more. We talk about this stuff. We look at stuff every day. We kind of know and we get the feelings. But a lot of people rely on the larger media. And again, these interviews that are happen are not going to just be game sites, right? These are going to be Forbes, Bloomberg. They're going to have interviews with all these bigger companies, and the greater mind share that's out there needs to finally realize exactly what is happening here. And Microsoft needs to assert itself in the strongest terms possible so that people end this narrative that seems to be whatever Nintendo and Sony do, we don't question it. So if Nintendo and Sony had done this deal, there'd be no question about exclusivity. Microsoft, on the other hand, keeps getting these questions, right? We need to end that now. Microsoft needs to put that to rest, bury it, so that nobody ever questions again what they're going to do. Again, I told you I tempered my expectations. I don't think all of this is going to come true, but you asked me what I would do or what I want to see here, right? So I think they need to do that. Next up is Starfield. Okay. Starfield's coming out 2021. I'm locked in. I've been locked in for quite a while now, Mav, on this show and other places. Starfield's ready to rock and roll. Okay. I believe this from the beginning. I think it's one of the big parts of this acquisition. When whatever Phil saw and talked to Todd about, he knew this was going to happen. Obviously, they expected, or we think they expected, to have Halo, the golden egg, last year for launch. And then he needed another big one for this holiday, and he saw it in Starfield, right? Another Todd Howard original IP coming out from one of the biggest studio names, despite, as Crispy mentioned, some of their slip-ups. That's all forgotten with one great game. Okay, that's all forgotten immediately. Gamers have short-term memories, right? And whatever they saw, first of all, Sony wanted to try to buy exclusivity of Starfield for 2 years. So whatever Sony saw, they knew it was something special too, right? Whatever Phil saw convinced him that this could be his big hitter for this year, for 2021 holiday. And that's what I firmly believe, and I still stand by that. And now he's got two big hitters, at least. Okay, I think 2021 is going to be bigger, but that's not the topic of this conversation. However, you bring up Starfield. It's already been brought up in almost every interview that has been done with any Microsoft executive or any Xbox executive. They've all mentioned Starfield. Okay. And there's a reason for that. That hype is already going to start to build at this point. And what better opportunity than to introduce maybe a small teaser, leading up to a bigger show come spring, summer, E3 time, whenever they have that launch window that they're looking at. It's going to determine when they go full blowout on this game. But I'm thinking a small teaser, a small introduction by Todd Howard saying, hey guys, you can finally announce this. Starfield exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. Not necessarily we'll have more information, but I want to give you, we haven't given you anything all this time. I want to give you a small glimpse into what you have to look forward to, and then roll a clip, right, with a small little teaser. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. But the main thing is to stamp Microsoft so that people start knowing that when you talk about ZeniMax, when you talk about Bethesda, when you talk about Arcane, when you talk about Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, whatever you're doing, you have to instantly think, oh, okay, Xbox, Microsoft. That's them now, right? And they have to start that immediately. They have to answer all the questions about exclusivity so that they're not brought up anymore. And just leave it at that so they can focus on the games. Because a big challenge that Microsoft is going to have going forward now, and this is a big challenge for this team because we saw them make a few stumbles last year when they had to do this, excuse me, is they now are going to have a ton of games that they have to somehow get in people's faces, right? And you have so many studios, you have so many games that they're going to have to line it up and make sure that every game has its has its place so that people can see it, right?
Yep.
So they need to make sure that they're taking the opportunities and they have it planned out. So depending on when they're going to launch, depending on the release dates, when they're going to show this stuff off. And that's going to be one of the first challenges they're going to have to do. But again, this starts now. ZeniMax is the first domino to a lot of great things coming 2021 and the future. But this is the first domino. They've been ultra quiet on a lot of different fronts because they're waiting for this deal to get pushed through, the ink dried, and then announce it, and then they can move on with everything else they have planned. So this should be a big show.
Dude, if all of that, the last 15-20 minutes is tempering your expectations.
No, I
can imagine your grand expectations because that sounds freaking amazing. I want to see it right now. Show it to me.
I gave you my blown out expectations without tempering them. That's what I really want to see.
I hear you.
And even to add a little bit to that, they got to start giving us a roadmap to all this stuff.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah, I agree.
That's one thing that Microsoft has not been good at. I've criticized them elsewhere as well. But they have to start giving us a roadmap. They don't have to show us the world. They don't have to show us every secret. They don't have to show us everything they got going. But they have to start giving us some kind of idea of how all of this is going to line up, because that's how you start to build the hype, period. And they have to do it.
I agree with you. Maybe they should hire you for a marketing manager, because that would be incredible. Available. That would be like, hey, I would be like in my chair.
Strategist Pongsoul.
Call me.
Just like I
bet you I won't charge as much as other people
awesomeness. Hey Bob, do you have any thoughts on this? Like, what do you want to see, man? Like, from this rumored Bethesda event?
I want to see like what we haven't seen yet. Like, I mean, I feel like, honestly, Microsoft with buying Bethesda, there's obviously a reason why they did it. Like, there's a lot of games that we know about, but it's like when Microsoft bought Obsidian, though, like, we got Grounded. That came out of left field. That was like a small project. Like, that's something that we never even would have understood was happening, but it's something that was new and innovated. And I think that's the thing that goes overlooked about Game Pass, and like why I kind of structured like my content creation around Game Pass, even though some of it's like moving away more from like the video game punditry, because I don't have the time to sit here and like be the guy with all the answers. So I almost want to just say Phil Spencer takes off his mask and he's a lizard person. But at the same time, that would be dope. I'd love to see that. But I feel like maybe we'll see more about Starfield, because no one knows what it is. But obviously, like Pong was saying, that's something that obviously has a lot of potential if so many people are vying to get their hands on it. But I want to see all the smaller projects that Microsoft might be possibly working on, or some more of the plans, or maybe it'll just be boring and nothing really is going to happen. Maybe they'll still muddy the waters because they don't have the information yet, because I feel until everything goes through, there's so many regulators that have to approve of this buyout that they can't really confirm a lot of stuff until that gets done. But I mean, if this is going to be the point where everything is like the ink is drying and they can go ahead and send it out of the park.
That would be the purpose of it, is if like if the deal, once the deal is finalized, they have it planned that they're going to do this event, right? That would be, I think, what the idea would be.
Like, I mean, it could be that. It could just be something boring, and they're like, we never even hyped this up. This is just us like confirming to our investors that we just bought a big ass company. So here we are. But if anything, like, I feel like what they have to do most likely is either they have to like paint their strategy for whether or not they're going to keep these games exclusive, or whether they are going to put them on other consoles. Because honestly, I don't care whether or not they do it. Like that, like people having games other places, like especially ever since I built a PC to support the content creation, like I just have options now. Like I still play on my Xbox just because it's easy, but at the same time, like I have a PC that I accidentally snagged a 3060, and now I can play games there too. And Sony's doing the same thing. It's the wave of the future. Like the walled garden is just a way to subsidize um the hardware now, and
Right.
Microsoft gets a cut out of that. But at the same time, Microsoft also still has your business if you build a PC. So in that way, like Microsoft isn't struggling in the gaming world at all. You know, like I feel like we don't have to like sit here and like plant our flag there, because PlayStation games are coming over. We can enjoy the games where we want to, but it is fun to have like a strong point of view on it. But it's just like I feel like it's going to be either like I just want to see a plan of what they're going to do with their content going forward, and what the plan is for the branding, like you guys had touched on. Like I feel that that's important for the messaging going forward. But it's like it's a slam dunk in itself that they're buying ZeniMax. Like just
Yeah.
the amount of content that that adds to their first party, and more importantly, what that adds to Game Pass. Like honestly, it makes Netflix look like a joke right now, because Netflix I don't even think has that many studios creating like high-end content for Netflix. Like
Yeah.
this is unprecedented at this point. And if they keep buying more studios, it's going to be an even more amazing entertainment value. And I don't really think that I can even completely grasp what it's going to turn into. Like I think this is just the start.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you, dude. Um, Game Pass is insane, and they're not done buying studios because Satya Nadella said they're not done buying studios.
Right.
And if the top guy at Microsoft says, "Hey, we really like where this is going. We're going to keep doing it," then that should tell everybody what they need to know. As far as for me, with the event, I think Starfield's announcement. I agree with Pong that it's probably close to ready. I think it's going to come out this year, and that's if it doesn't, it would just be because of a small delay, right? I think that it is intended to come out in 2021, and I think he was right with also saying that was the big plans to have for the big game for the fall this year as well, and the Halo got pushed back into it, so that wasn't the original plan, right? So to me, if Starfield was multi-platform, there would be no reason to have held back the announcement that Starfield is coming this year. I think that would have been potentially announced late last year, and them showed more off about the game. To me, they've been holding Starfield back until this deal is finalized from making a big splash announcement showing off, hey, what's better to celebrate the acquisition of one of the biggest publishers and game studio developers out there than showcasing the biggest franchise they've created since Elder Scrolls, and they didn't create Fallout, but since they made Fallout 3, right? This is a new creation from one of the RPG forefathers of PC gaming, okay? I mean, this is the guy that created Elder Scrolls and has created Morrowind and Oblivion and Skyrim, and then he was behind Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. This is his new franchise that they've spent years world building, creating backstory, creating planets, creating species, creating lore, all of this stuff. What better way to celebrate the acquisition of Bethesda's ZeniMax than showcasing that? And what would spread more excitement for that than a game? And I think when in March, I'm good. This is like outlandish, but I think in March we're gonna see Starfield gameplay. We're gonna see Todd Howard stand somewhere on video, whatever, and talk about the game like he's an amazing salesman when he does, because he's no BS when he talks, right? And he's gonna say what he thinks about Microsoft and all that. Man, I want everything that Pong said to be true with this, because if they actually went to all these studios and had like tidbits, and I want what Bob said to be true too. I want to see like all these like little games that they could have been working on that we don't even know about. Like hey, what's Roundhouse Studios working on? We've never seen a game from Roundhouse Studios, right? Like,
Right.
I want to see all of this stuff, but I think there's going to be a big focus on Starfield, and that's the reason we haven't seen anything last year when we would have expected it, right?
I want to see that stealth drop. They're just like, all right, here's Starfield. By the way, it's coming out in a month. Go get your pre-orders.
On
And
Game
that would
Pass.
be-
Freaking
yeah,
crazy.
Exactly. Well, then you don't even need to pre-order it. Buy Game Pass.
Yeah.
Or they might even,
$1 for a trial.
yeah, or they might even like just require Game Pass or something. I don't know. That would probably be a bad move, but
You can't buy an
might
Xbox
be a
unless you
little
get
aggressive.
Game Pass.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Game Pass
that could
only
be the plan
exclusive.
eventually.
Yeah. Hey, maybe eventually there will be only, Game Pass only games.
I'm pretty sure I got compared to Hitler when I said I didn't mind that the Xbox Live Gold price went up. So yeah, that's probably a bad
Fair
stance to take.
comparison. Fair comparison. I can see why.
Anybody else have any further thoughts on this March event and what we could possibly expect?
I'll leave it like this. All would love to see a world premiere, and that's it.
Yeah. Hey, just putting this out there, guys. If something happens to the world premiere guy, God forbid, Crispy Bomb's a pretty good substitute. Okay. In fact, guys, you may be able to get Crispy Bomb for cheaper than the regular world premiere guy. So you might want to hit him up. He might just take a few beers, to do it a few times. He's got the voice for it. Can you do it one more time?
Exclusive.
There you go. Nice, dude. Okay, babe. So now this isn't on the list, but I wanted to kind of reach out to this because we got some Halo fans in the house. Crispy, not so much. Crispy's more of a Gears guy. That's okay. But Halo Infinite yesterday dropped some, or not Bungie. I always say Bungie when I start talking about Halo. 343 dropped some new screenshots yesterday of Halo Infinite, and also some more information as well on Halo Waypoint about questions that they were asking some of the devs and stuff. And there's some pretty cool things here. So I'm just gonna mention a couple of them. Right. Another one was like, one of them was talking about the where are they going with the when you say reboot, or like where are they going with that? And they'd say that's the feeling, right? It's the feeling of going back to the original Halo, the experience that you get going back to that. Not necessarily story, not necessarily anything regarding making it look old, right? It's about the art style and it's about the feeling, right? So that was interesting. They showed off like the different lighting for the time of day and stuff on some of the maps in the world and on Zeta Halo. It looked freaking incredible, and there's been comparisons out there of side by sides of like the previous build that we've seen with the new screenshot of the game, and it looks like it's made a massive transformation already. As well as they were talking about let's see here, the grapple shot and how it's going to be used a lot for like traversal. We've already seen some of that in that trailer. They talked about co-op. It's just a lot of good stuff here when you actually go through that and read. They've been implementing. They also mentioned again that hey, they're in the polish and bug fixing phase and balancing. Like they reiterating that in this post. That hey, they've been working at what we're pretty much working on bug fixes, polishing and balancing, and implementing some new tech here and there. So everything that we're seeing from them is like really positive and has me super hyped for what we may get. Has anybody had a chance to see the screenshots and stuff? And does anybody have any thoughts on that? Volunteers.
I took a look at them earlier today, and I mean, I feel like it just looks great. Like it looks, no matter whether it was Halo or any other game, like it looks solid. And I saw also a GIF of it on rotation, like for the day to night cycle, and it looked pretty exciting, like for the possibilities of the open world. But I mean, I feel like I kind of want to see how, like, actually moving through it and like actually like the gameplay that happens within that. But I mean, honestly, I appreciate them trying to stick to an aesthetic that is familiar, and I don't think necessarily doing that makes it like look dated or anything, especially when you take a look at a while ago, like the models that they released of all the weapons and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the detail and the care to the detail that's going into it. I think it's gonna be really a great experience, honestly.
Yeah, man. Lighting and the detail. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
amazing. Pong, you got any thoughts on it, man, based on what you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. I mean, it looks like they are getting down to business, which unfortunately wasn't happening last year due to obviously a variety of reasons, and what seemed to be, a lot of mismanagement in a lot of ways over the years. And again, we'll never know the full story, and I don't necessarily like to judge anybody, or their jobs or what they're doing. But is it just me, or ever since Staten kind of took over, things have seemed to settle down? Maybe it's part of the process, but ever since they brought him in, it just feels like they are more focused at this point
Yeah.
on hitting different marks with where they're going with this. And again, it could just be because they got through the rough part of it, that they got that extra year and all the pressure was taken off, so they weren't rushing to put out things, or they weren't rushing to fix things just to get it in a playable fashion to show off, which again, we that's already been debated to the end of time about whether or not they should ever showed it. But again, from this point forward, I'm seeing nothing but positives. And so that's that from that standpoint, this is going exactly how they probably envisioned it would, at this, saying, from the time that they decided to go ahead and delay it, giving that team an extra year to get done what they needed to get done, to hopefully put this game in a spot when it releases that it is the marquee franchise again for Xbox, and it will get the credit and that it deserves. And hopefully 343 will show through some of the bumps and the turmoil, that they are the team to handle this franchise going forward. And obviously, again, just from an outsider, you're not. This is not a Halo fanboy here. This is a casual Halo fan. I played them all. I enjoy all of them. Um, but to see what has transformed now that they've been given this time is pretty impressive. And I think how they are doing this and releasing, bits and showing people progress at each kind of step here as we move towards the launch in November, I think is a great move for them to start, just, I don't want to say bringing back confidence, because the Halo community themselves never really lost confidence. They were just kind of like, hey, what are we going to see? What's going on here? Why are we delaying it a year? I think it just shows that they have a plan in place and that everybody should trust the plan, right? And that's what they're doing at this point. So I think that's fantastic. Like Game Pass said, I do want to see some gameplay, even if it's a 10-second clip. I just want to see it in action. I want to see what it looks like moving. Screenshots are great and all, but I'm an old enough gamer to have been through all the screenshot gates that there have been through the years. And I'm not saying that I doubt that they look that good, but I just want to see it. I just want to see it moving, because that's how we're going to be playing it. But I think they're probably going to plan on doing that. I've talked about it before. If I were them again, I would have another, basically kind of a re-showing of this game when they're ready, sometime around E3 time. another big kind of reveal. Here's what we've done since you last saw this game. Take a look at it now.
Right.
And kind of show it off. But I was also excited about, what they talked about, the differences that they're trying to give as far as experiences go, from the single player to the co-op, and how they kind of want to, give not necessarily two different games, but they want the experience to be different for each kind of way that you're going to play it. And I think that's great. And I think the open world that they're talking about, is going to give that opportunity where you get a bunch of buddies together and you roll out, and hey, you may not be doing main missions, but you may just go on, kind of like Division 2, Mav, like we've been doing. You just go find some fights to get into, right? Just go find, drive off towards towards that mountain over there and see what you run into.
Yeah.
And then I also thought it was kind of interesting. There was a little tidbit in there, I think, where they talked about possibly there's going to be some points where we actually go into space. I think they kind of hinted that there might be some possibilities. We might see some space travel. So I thought that was kind of cool tidbit too. So nothing but positives here, man. I can't wait to see, again, casual Halo guy, but I'm hyped. I can't wait for it to launch in November and see what we get out of this thing.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited for it, for sure.
Crispy, have you had a chance to see it? I don't know how much Halo digging you do on news.
I did see it. Yeah. The first thing I thought is, oh yeah, well I forgot they brought in some big guns from the coalition to go over there and help them.
Hey, I knew dude, how did I know you were gonna go there? No, but they did. That's a big thing. That's part of being.
They are private contractors, but they've been working on Gears forever.
Yeah.
So but they're easily adaptable. They've worked on multiple different engines over their careers, so it was like a no-brainer, I think, when you start seeing them, having hey, I'm working on Halo Infinite graphics and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, and that might be Statham himself. He might be like, well, let's just start using our assets here and saying, let's bring some people in that we can, we don't, they're not gonna, take apart a whole, like a whole developer team to do it, but you can take a few important parts. And for anybody that, I mean, I don't even have to cloud about it anymore about how good Hivebusters looks, but that's one thing that Gears will always have, is the visuals are just amazing in that game, and they continue to be, even regardless of all having totally different teams now. So having those certain people that are private contracted that can go and say, yeah, I'll go there, I'll go move there. I would love to work on Halo. You know what I mean? Like, it's a great thing to have, and that's something that Microsoft really has right now. They have a lot of different teams. Like, who knows if like some people from ID are going to work over there. You don't know everything, but you start seeing little tidbits, and you're like, there's a lot of devs that can really help these guys out. And, why not? You're going all in. You already put it a year behind. You might as well give us like the best possible experience possible. And yes, I've played Halos, people. I'm not just a gearhead, but I haven't played them all like some. I might, I was going to start getting it. I was almost done with Reach. And then, all of a sudden they delayed it, and I'm like, okay, my interest is lost, because I kind of want to just roll right into Infinite just to have that story, because that was more important to me, at least in that game. I'm not a huge first-person shooter fan, so I think it looks way better. I was not impressed with the demo, although it is a demo, and I don't know how that Gears 4 beta looked, bro. Like, dude, that was just horrendous. And then what came out was just incredible, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how did they even do that? So like, I wasn't like super worried when I saw it. I was more like, well, it is a demo, you know what I mean? But, and we're kind of, we're a ways off here. It's not even like, the beta was actually a couple months compared to like the 6 months in between those two things. So I'm like, I don't know, like, delay it, don't delay it. But when a lot of huge Halo fans are like, you should delay this, I don't like it, I was like, okay, I'll agree with you. I'm cool. So that's my take on it. I just feel like finally realizing that 343 might need a little help. And I think it's because, developing a new engine really kind of messed with them. And then obviously COVID happened and they were probably like on a roll. And all of a sudden it's like, bam, that door's shut. You are not allowed to work together for a long period of time. You can't go over to your buddy's shoulder and be like, hey, no, that doesn't look very good. You might want to change that. And then they go and look at it like, oh yeah, that doesn't look very good. No, instead you got to send it across the internet. You know what I mean? So I think it really changed the culture for a little bit. I think we're going to see devs adapt to this, and some of them might even adapt even more to this at home style of developing over time. Kind of use that as these big CEOs be like, oh, we're going to save money or something. They just stay home and do their thing. So we don't know how it's going to go. I mean, I hope I don't have to wear a mask by the end of the year. That's what I'm hoping for. And I hope Halo comes out on time. It looks like it is. And I hope we get another big game that gets kind of shadow dropped, like Game Pass said, kind of just like, hey, this is going to come out in 3 months. And we just wanted to make sure that we could actually release it. You know what I mean? That's because I feel like Phil really wanted to release it last year. I don't feel like this was like, but as time went on, because he always said, oh, our hardware is good. Like every time he was questioned about it, he was like really confident about the hardware. He wasn't super confident about the software. And really, when you're talking about software, he was talking about Halo. I mean, come on. That was, it was supposed to launch with the series. He's like, he didn't seem quite as confident. I'm like, this is not good. And this was actually like right around the demo. I think it was like an interview right before it. He just didn't seem super confident. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to come out because everything just started rolling downhill. So, I mean, the product's there. I think they figured it out. And I think they're doing the right thing and bringing in the right people to come and help out on this.
And Chief is now going to have a Nasher. So that's all that really matters.
Yeah. He's going to have a Lancer. He's going to start chainsawing all the Covenant. The Banished.
I'd like it.
Yeah.
It'd be some DLC, some Coalition DLC.
Well,
amazing.
if you're gonna turn it into like have like a looter part of it, why not? Yeah. Why not have a little cheekiness in there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just want to see the id Halo game that everybody's going to be asking for. Like,
or we need the Microsoft Smash Bros.
Yes. Yeah. All of this is possible now. There's so many things that happen, and especially like the Sega or Ubisoft or deals end up coming in like with the Game Pass. You could start having like I would see more cross promotional stuff within games as well. So hey babe, it's time for our last topic. And how do we end the show every week?
I have something to say before we do that.
Oh, okay. What? Yes, dear.
I just wanted to mention one more thing about House Flipper.
Okay, the stage is yours, babe. The pressure's on.
I forgot to mention that they did do a collab with Cyberpunk.
What?
Oh yeah.
And there is free DLC. And for some of you that are skeptical, it might be a good gateway into trying the game out. And there is a property that you can buy. It's a loft apartment overlooking the city, and it's pretty badass looking.
Is it Johnny Silverhand's apartment?
It's whoever's apartment you want it to to be.
It looks like you've made a sell already. If you turn your attention to Bob's screen,
I love it.
Fuck Tetris. Oh, I mean, Tetris is dead to me.
But they also put in a ton of new content, like items and stuff, and there's a lot of gaming items to decorate the gaming setup of your dreams. So all you have to do is like clean up the apartment first, clean the windows, and then you can just have fun decorating.
Take the 8 bags of
You
cans
start bringing
out
me
to the
in,
garage.
and then you just turn me off again.
Oh, okay.
You heard cleaning, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I do that enough at home, man."
Hey, can we get Fancy's quick pitch for House Flipper?
Well, guys, it's a lot of fun. I really appreciate it if you tried it out. I'll come and clean for you.
Oh, okay.
I'll put on a little maid outfit.
Nice.
Oh.
Little maid
And there's
outfit.
a lot of stuff on the floor that I'd have to bend over and get.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
I
So
love
I just hear
fancy.
Betty Boop. I'm a little.
it's fancy.
It's fancy.
Yeah. You can play it. Hey, speaking of fancy, guys, tune in to Ultimate After Hours after the stream where we play Halo every Friday night after the podcast. If you want to come in and hang out and chill,
You guys want to come?
then we can have lots of fun playing some Halo. Fancy usually makes an appearance, and it kind of becomes a little distracting at times.
And she turns
so-
it X-rated.
Yeah, sometimes I have to delete the streams after Ultimate After Hours, but hey, it's okay. We hope everybody that can joins in on the fun. All right, how do we end this podcast every week, babe?
Oh, I'm sorry. We we end it with the Game Pass Game of the Week, and this week it is Dirt 5.
Dirt 5. Hey, surprise, surprise, surprise. EA and Codemasters make a deal, and shortly after, Dirt 5 is in Game Pass, which I thought was going to happen anyway. But Dirt 5 is now in Game Pass. And hey, I think when we saw how much promotion there was going to be from Microsoft and Dirt 5 with the launch of the Xbox, making a big deal about this, they talked about it in interviews and stuff a lot together. It was kind of a foregone conclusion that this game was going to eventually be hitting Game Pass for me. And hey, the day is here. Now, I was a day one guy on Dirt 5 because it is actually a really good game. It's a lot of fun. And I haven't been playing that much multiplayer with my friends on Dirt 5 because there's been a lot of community game nights with it, and a lot of people didn't buy it, you know. I think now that it's hitting Game Pass, we're seeing a lot of people kind of start to figure out, hey, this is actually a really good game all of a sudden. So is anybody here got any thoughts on Dirt 5? Bob, have you played Dirt 5 yet?
Not yet, but I'm going to now that it's in Game Pass. I feel like it'd be dumb not to. Like with the Series X, like that was the first game that was designed for it. Even though there's all the other stuff that went around with running better in PlayStation and everything, but yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a perfect game for Game Pass. I don't how popular are those games? Like, I mean, it must be somewhat popular, but I'm with Forza Horizon and like the mainline Forza and Game Pass as well. Like, I've always just been more into those games than the rally style, I guess. So, but I'm definitely down to try it as part of my subscription. So I'll definitely be playing it.
Yeah, dude. And this
You're in
one-
luck.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
man.
I was gonna say this one's a little different than the other Dirts because it's more arcadey. So it's a little bit more just like easy to pick up and play and kind of fun, and kind of ridiculous a little bit with some of the online stuff that they have. So if you're not super into the sim racers, this is a good alternative as well. So what were you gonna say, Paul?
Exactly what you were just about to say. The old Dirt series is nothing like this one, or I should say, this one is nothing like the old Dirt series. They completely changed it up. This is a pick up and play style arcade racer, just like Mav said, except for the sprint cars. The sprint cars suck.
Yeah, I agree with you,
know
dude.
what?
Like, I can't handle
They need
them.
to get rid of the sprint cars or change them completely. I went online to like look and see if anybody had tips or tricks, and all I saw was people just complaining about the sprint cars, going, "How do you drive these things? Why do they drive like this? They suck." And
Yeah,
It's the only one complaint I have with this. I absolutely love the game. The game's fun, but the sprint cars can all go to hell. I hate them.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I'll be getting like first and second all the time, like
Yep.
just like having a great time, like in this game. And then one of the challenges comes up, one of the races with the sprint cars, and it's like,
Yep.
what the hell is this? I mean, how do I control it? Am I supposed to turn the controller upside down? Like it doesn't make any damn sense. Like so I don't understand that either. So that's like something that I think they messed up on big time. Maybe there'll be an update with new controls there. And I see Santa Sleighs over there about to give away some presents. Crispy, have you played Dirt 5?
I have not, but I always had the inkling it was going to be on Game Pass because it had a marketing deal. So I feel like every game that has a marketing deal with Xbox, including Watch Dogs, which I didn't even realize that. I bet you it does come to Game Pass. I bet you actually made a better point than me on that original topic.
Well, I forgot that they had a marketing deal, so that makes it even bigger. Yeah, I did forget that. That's true.
I was like, because every single game that Microsoft has a marketing deal with, I feel is going to eventually come to Game Pass, so I don't purchase it. The one thing I was really intrigued about Dirt 5 is a lot of people said exactly what you both said. It's not the original style Dirt, which I mean, I actually got halfway through Dirt 3 and I was impressed with myself because that game really gave me a headache at times. So, you know, it's one of those things like if you're good at it, that's awesome. And you're a way better, you know, rally driver than me. That's the way I look at it. But I just want to have fun. And from what I've seen from the gameplay and from what everybody said, this is exactly up my alley. And I'm definitely going to have to delete something to download this.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that you guys are going to check it out. And it is another beauty about Game Pass. Did you have any thoughts on Dirt 5, babe?
No.
Let's cancel Dirt and we'll replace it with House Flipper.
Hell yeah.
Did you want to talk about the Moving Out DLC, babe?
Yeah, there's new DLC for Moving Out.
Thanks for the deep insight onto that. There is, guys. We've been asking for it for a while. So if you haven't tried Moving Out, that's a game you should definitely check out. I don't think it's on Game Pass, but just wanted to give it a quick shout out because we finally got the DLC.
Outside my view, then I don't play any games outside of Game Pass.
Yeah, only Game Pass for GamePassDad. All right,
that's a complete lie, though. Also, so
it's like an island theme. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Which that'll be interesting to check out.
Yeah, it's just a couch co-op game. It's a lot of fun. All right, guys, I want to say thank you to everybody here on the panel today. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out. It's been a blast. This was a fun episode. I've seen y'all talking a lot in the chat about all this stuff, and that's amazing. It means that we're all having a good time. Love all you guys. Shout out to everybody there. Appreciate it. And also our esteemed guest here. First, I would like to give a shout out to Crispy Bomb, who is just been super supportive of me ever since I stepped into the community. So thank you, sir, for that. And also, I want to make sure everybody knows where they can find your gentle tones.
Yeah, it was a great night tonight, and definitely look forward to the next time. And it's at Crispy Bomb on Twitter, Crispy Bomb 28, Xbox Live, at Retro Renegades Tuesday night 7 p.m. and we got Thursday night 8 p.m. the next podcast, and of course Friday morning 10 a.m. Breakfast with Boom. And yeah, I mean, hit me up. I'd probably be gaming tomorrow with on Tushy with the good old community game night, because you know I saw Gears there, and you know how that goes for me. So,
yeah,
hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey,
Crispy, before we let you go, or before we move on, Mav, what do you think of the new Gears Operation 6?
Impressed.
Unimpressed or impressed?
Not impressed. No, I'm not
impressed
at all.
Okay.
I think they're ramping up something else now. That's all I can say.
Okay, keep it under wraps. I just wanted to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. For Gears, need to kind of go back to the drawing board. Need to take the multiplayer that they had in Gears 4 and reuse that, because whatever they did with this true match system has really destroyed the community's interest in it. I still have plenty of people to play with. It's still easy to find a match. It's not quite what it was. So yeah, I think they're moving forward, whatever it is. I don't know. A few speculations out there, but that's for you to figure out.
Okay, all right. Thanks.
Yeah, I think he's alluding that he knows something and he can't speak.
Yes.
Yeah. That's okay, because we have a lot of fun with 3-bit with that as well, because he always knows stuff that he can't talk about. All right. My other esteemed guest, I want to thank you, sir. We found each other, like I alluded to before, on the Shop podcast as guests on there together.
Yeah.
And then I kind of stumbled onto your Twitch streams and again, been hanging out with you a lot. We've been playing a lot of Halo together and stuff. And it was awesome that you agreed to come and be a part of this show. And I want to thank you for that, because you're an awesome guy and have been supportive of me as well. So I appreciate that. But I want to make sure, hey, everybody out there knows where they can see your amazing streams and also your stand-up that you do on Twitch.
Yeah, man, it's my pleasure for sure. Like, thank you for asking me to be on, and I'm really sorry that it didn't work out as well as we thought it would, but I'm glad I could still make it in for a bit and
it was just the right amount of Bob. I think any more might have been like,
too much. Yeah. Well, Santa Slays had you guys up the whole time too on his Twitch also. So
Thank you.
introduced
awesome,
some people
man.
to Xbox Ultimate tonight as well, came to support. So thank you everyone watching over there also. That's why I picked Santa's nose real quick. But yeah, usually like Wednesdays and weekends, you can find me streaming on Twitch just underneath GamePassDad, or you can find me trolling on Twitter. I've kind of moved away a little bit from the video game punditry just because it's like I'm more of like the humor guy. Like there's some things that I have strong opinions about, and I'm more opinions. Like I'm not the person that you're gonna find like hot new deets from. So I'm trying to find my lane in that particular space, but also really kind of bringing my love of like my sense of humor and my love of gaming together is basically what I'm doing with it and feeling my way out. And it's been great connecting with you and your awesome community. And like everyone, thank you for allowing me to be here and goof around a bit. But yeah, basically Wednesdays and weekends. Tomorrow we're actually interviewing Santa for my podcast on my Twitch channel. And then March 13th, it's a Saturday, 10 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to be performing some more of my stand-up comedy live on stream because I've really been working on trying to create almost like a late night talk show. I just need to find a way to get all of those different elements together, like having like an interview and like maybe a musical guest and maybe like a comedy guest and some skits and stuff. So maybe bring in some more people from like the gaming community eventually. But that's really what I'm kind of working towards right now. So it's always good to be here and be a part of like the Xbox community that kind of kicked off the whole GamePassDad brand, and it's really nice to get to know you guys and play Halo with you guys. I appreciate you always joining me when we play on Sundays also.
Yeah, dude, man. Anytime you say Halo, then me and Kate come running usually. That's kind of how it goes.
I'm just like, I kind of scuffed and like didn't really tell my community that it was Halo night. Like, you guys want to play some Halo with me? But we usually I feel like we get a good balance most nights, but you usually come heavy with the people, and I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. You've seen it. I think you've gotten a taste of the ultimate after hours with some of the with some of those. How you kind of have the direction it goes at times.
Yeah, I might be able to come play some games tonight. I think we're supposed to play Rocket League tonight, but I'll definitely drop in soon on some of that too, because I owe it to you guys for sure.
Yeah, no worries, dude. Anytime you can make it. If not, then no worries, and that goes for everybody in the chat as well. Pong, my man, dude, what's up? And
sir,
like what? Like 20 podcasts are you going to be on this week? And make sure you give a shout out again Hey, this is like a record. We're gonna mention the Shop podcast like a record amount of times here, but make sure you give him a shout out on
That's
your
right.
outro here. Where can people find you, dude?
First of all, chat. Awesome to see everybody here. As always, you guys are beautiful people, as my brother from another eye steel likes to say. But it's great to see every single one of you show up each and every week. As always, I can't say it enough. Appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. We can't do this without you guys. It would just be us in a room talking to each other, which would be weird. But great to have you all here. Crispy and GamePassDad, thank you guys so much for coming tonight, man.
Yeah, thanks for having
It's
us.
always great to have new people on here. Great to have new voices on here. Obviously, Crispy, I've known you for quite a while through chat and been on a couple shows with you now. So, and obviously Game Pass, I've shot you a few times in Halo. I think you've gotten me a few more, but it's always great to have you guys on here and appreciate you coming out tonight. Pong Soul everywhere. You guys know that by now. And you can find me here Friday nights, Saturday nights. I am on the Shop podcast with PTK, Blam, Fuzzy, Belvedere, Centurion, and Stagorilla. It's a shorter show. It only lasts a little bit over an hour. Hope everybody can come out and check it out. It's a really good show. PTK has been doing it for like 5 years now, so it's really well run. We just have some quick topics, and obviously like to get the chat involved. So come by and check it out. It starts at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then as far as anywhere else, you never know. I seem to now be on Boom's permanent reserve list. So whenever he needs a seat filled or he puts up the bat signal, I'm there. So crazy things have been happening, and who knows what else will come about this year. So anyways, thank you again, all. It's been awesome. I love doing this on Friday night, so I appreciate you guys. I'm glad, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I'm glad that you're okay today with the accident, man. So that was good news.
Yeah, again, thanks for everybody for the for the well wishes on that. But yeah, we're all good, unscathed. I'm okay. So, babe,
yes.
you want to tell people how I told you about the accident today?
Yeah, glad you're okay.
You called me and you said, I just got hit. An 18-wheeler sideswiped me.
I should
and
That's not what you want to hear.
Yeah, I should have been a little bit
That's
more.
That's not what you want to hear at all.
But it should have been a little bit more subtle, like with
yeah,
that.
probably.
When I saw the 18-wheeler next to that in that picture, I was like, "Oh wow, you are just a lucky man."
Yeah,
like,
it could have been. It could have been a lot worse than it was. But we're
glad. Okay,
everybody was good. The other driver obviously he was fine. But yeah, it was everything was good. It was like a slow moving collision, if you want to call that. So all's well. Hey, babe, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at CaitlinX0615, and you can find me on Xbox at XOX I'm So Fancy XOX, and you can find me here every Friday. And I want to thank Crispy and GamePassDad for coming on. It was awesome to have you both. And everybody in the chat, you are amazing as always. Appreciate all of you guys.
Absolutely. You guys are incredible for all the support. Thank you so much, guys. So you can also find another podcast on this channel that started on Sundays, guys, and it's Fun Pop, the pop culture, movies, TV shows, games, and more podcast featuring 3-Bit and Psychonauts, which also I was able to get up on audio platforms now. So you can listen to that on Apple Podcasts and also on Spotify, as well as you can listen to Xbox Ultimate on all those audio platforms as well. So check that out if you like to just catch it in the car or whatever. We appreciate it. All of us do so much. And until next time, this has been Mav, and it's been fun speculating.
So trying to be crispy
with all of world premiere. All right,
Phil
guys.
Spencer's a lizard person.
Later, guys. Bye.
Later on.
Take it easy.
Have a great weekend, all.
Bye.